Hi friends. Today I am talking about something that is a super unpopular opinion, and that is coffee, carbs, and cake. So, you probably have been told at some point, you can't drink coffee. If you want to get rid of your symptoms, if you have PMS, if you have cramping, if you have bloating, you can't have carbs. If you have Hashimoto's, carbs are the devil, right? You've probably heard something around each and every one of these different foods. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why that's maybe not necessarily the truth for you. And then next week in part 2 of this little video series, I'm going to tell you what you can do to start to work these foods in a way that works for you. So first of all, let's dig into this. Now, coffee on its own, coffee has some really great benefits. It can be preventative for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. It can be protective of your heart. It's really good for your liver. It can be great for sports performance, okay? And who doesn't like a nice comforting cup of coffee? So all of these things work really well and in your favor up to a certain point. Once you go beyond a certain amount of coffee in a day, then it starts to go the other way, and it can be, not great for blood pressure. It can give you GI side effects, right? So upset stomach or nausea, those kinds of things. And it can actually start to be really hard on your system. So when we're looking at coffee as part of a total picture of hormone balance, the trick is to find exactly what your threshold is. Okay? Same thing goes for carbs. Carbs are not the enemy that they are perceived in media, right? But there is a very big difference between complex carbs and simple carbs. Okay, so when we can suss out and find balance between those two, then even if you have Hashimoto's, even if you have PCOS, you can have these carbs in the amount that's right for you. And the same thing works for sugar. If you said, I can't ever have any more sugar in my life, I think it would be a very bleak outlook on the rest of my life. I don't want to live that way. So rest assured, there is a way to work that in. Now, let's dig a little deeper and look at why we use these foods, right? So coffee, first thing in the morning to get going. That's a popular one. Because I'm dragging in the middle of the day, because I need that boost. So looking at what are the habits that cause you to need that. Same thing with carbs. Don't have time for dinner to make a good balanced dinner. You're looking for something quick. You're stressed out from work. It's what's available. All of these reasons why you might be, reaching for that giant coffee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or maybe pounding the Cheez-Its while you're making dinner. There is likely a reason. The reason is what you need to dig into. Not the food. Don't villainize the food, because the food is okay. It's why you're doing that is really the big reason, okay? So these foods can be used when you're consciously indulging, right? So when you're putting them in your day on purpose. It's a birthday. You want to celebrate with a cupcake. You want to do something nice for a coworker. You want to bring them, a piece of chocolate or something like that. Food really is love. So go ahead and do that. But let's not use sugar and candy as a coping mechanism. Let's not use carbs as a quick way to pound a bunch of energy to get through the rest of the day so that we can, not have to plan or not have to think about it. The root cause is the problem. The thing that is driving you to do this more often is really the issue. Let's look at habits, okay? When we all left the house to go to work, we would drive the same way. We might have had a favorite coffee shop on the way. Maybe one day you stopped and you got a coffee. And then the next day you remembered, oh, that was great. So you got that coffee again. And then it slowly over time just became a habit. Instead of turning right to turn into the parking lot at work, you might have turned left into the coffee shop to get the coffee before you go there. Maybe it was even a little bit of a stall tactic, right? So that habit kind of blossomed out of maybe a well-intentioned treat, or just looking for something as a little pick-me-up, but it became a habit that you do, and it's now the way it's always been done. So you're really digging in on that. So I would question, if you feel like you're maybe addicted to sugar, is it really the sugar, or is it maybe what it represents? Maybe it's the time in your day where you dedicate a little bit of time to yourself, and the sugar represents a reward for getting out of work and getting through your day, right? Well, maybe there's something that you can do that's not a sugar-based treat instead. Okay, so let's look at different habits that we have around these foods and kind of pick them up and pick them apart a little bit and see why we might be doing this. And then you might find a way to return to these foods in a way that is more of a reward and less of a detrimental side effect leading to more symptoms. So the moral of this story is that coffee, carbs, cake, they're not the enemy. They're a symptom that you have something else going on, and you're relying on these foods, these categories of foods, to create a little shortcut or a little hack. Probably didn't even consciously find yourself here. You probably just developed these over time by your body, your mind, giving you the path of least resistance towards this end point. So next week, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can put these all together and how you can work them in with what is a really well-balanced diet and still find relief from hormone imbalance, still find a way to eat the right amount of food for you without overindulging, and really reaching all of your goals. So that is all I have for today. If you have questions or comments, head on over to Instagram and pop into my DMs or send me an email. And as always, if there's a topic that you want to know more on, just let me know. I'm happy to dig into it with you. It might be the impetus for a next series. All right, friends, that's all I have today. Talk to you next time.